Every country has its problems, and Australia is no exception. Wall-to-wall snakes, spiders that eat birds, a bunch of trolls and cheats for a cricket team, and a national anthem that sounds suspiciously like the Tweety Bird song.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free.
I tore a putty tat a-tweepin' upon me.
But these pale into insignificance compared to the fact that Australia is 75% desert. Not the nice kind either, with palm trees and sand dunes. No, this is more like the surface of Mars. Here's Mars. Now here's the Northern Territory. To say that Australia needs farmers is the understatement of the century. Australia needs farmers the way an AIDS patient needs T-cells. And it's only going to get worse. You see that narrow strip of green along the coast? That's where 99.99% of the population lives. This is the high tide mark by the end of the century. It could easily be higher, by as much as 10 meters. Either way, that narrow strip of green is going to shrink drastically. Meanwhile, right next door, on Manus, Christmas and Nauru Islands, Australia maintains detention camps for thousands of boat people. What do you suppose they did before becoming refugees? Well, I'll tell you, they were farmers. How do I know? Because no one is making iPhones or Nikes in Syria or Iraq. Somalia and Afghanistan are hardly what you'd call hubs of industry. All that's left is mining and agriculture. So no, the problem isn't a shortage of farmers. It's the policies of this man, Malcolm Turnbull, and people like him. I mean, for God's sake, look at him. There isn't enough Gaviscon in the world. He looks like he ate one too many puppies for breakfast. The only way he could look less human is if he had buttons for eyes. Australia needed a leader, and they chose a puppet made of talcum powder. Australia needed a leader, and they chose Garth Algar's dad. And this was the leader of the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party. It's like someone showed them a deck of cards of rich old men, and they chose the whitest one. So don't tell me how wonderful Australia is, because it's not. At this point, it's basically the American Confederate South with better beaches. Marriage equality was only ratified last year, but not before they pandered to the bigots by putting it to a referendum. Abortion on demand only became legal this year, but only in some states, not in others. And now their new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, is an evangelical Christian.